Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Connect the Dots, Past, Present, and Future. Today, I'm joined by one of my absolute favorite humans, Miss Kimmie Rauman. Kimmie and I are childhood friends. We go way back. And she is a huge dreamer and a lover of life and a ray of sunshine. And in just a few minutes, you're going to hear why I think all these things. Kimmie is a wife, a mother of 2. She is a business owner of 3 and a recent market partner through Monat. She's a realtor and she owns a children's boutique. So I'm just really excited for this opportunity. Kimmie, thank you so much for taking your time.
Absolutely.
While I was planning for today's episode, there was a quote that I came across that said this: dreaming is the idea of planting seeds for our future. This just rings so true for me about you because of you're such a huge dreamer, which is one of the qualities I love and admire about you. But more than that, you actually have the courage to chase some of your big ideas.
Yes, very true.
And so, we're going to just dive into it. And I'm so hopeful that whoever is going to be listening or has the opportunity is able to get something good out of this. So are you ready, girlfriend?
I'm ready, girl.
All right. I like to start with this question. If the current version of yourself could go back in time to any period of time that you would like, what kind of advice would you offer to yourself?
Oh boy, that's deep. I think that I don't feel like, I don't know, this might be deeper than you even want, but I don't feel like there's been a path where I have been like, oh, I would tell my younger self this and not do what I did. All the steps that I've done, I feel like I would just say keep going, and I think that I would tell my younger self that don't worry about what other people think. Maybe that is what I would say, because of diving into all these other businesses and, having the entrepreneur spirit that I do, I like to do more than one thing. And I feel like in our world, that is so frowned upon. So for me, I think it would be continue to have the courage and forget what the naysayers have to say, because God's plan is so much bigger for us.
I love that. Yes. Okay. What is your definition of success?
Ooh. I think that rings a couple different bells. I think success for me, which I've really, I think, honed down in since we moved back home, would be in the 4 walls of my family and my home first. Success for me is that my kids are healthy and my kids are happy, that my marriage is solid and my husband is happy, and that I am happy, and then outside of that is, are we serving others? Are we helping others? Like, success to me is not only just, I'm going to make $1 million, because I know I am. And that is success. But there's so many other moving parts and pieces to success to me. And that's, the happiness of others, and whoever I'm serving, am I serving them right? Am I helping other people? Like, that for me is success, is to see other women around me win also.
Girlfriend, good answer.
It's true.
I love it. All right. On a similar question, what would you say today, right now, you feel is your purpose or calling?
That I feel like I've been moving through that for a couple of years. I took a whole entire coaching program and to become a certified coach, and I wholeheartedly love that, but I don't think that exactly was my purpose. I think that it was to open the door of how to help other people in business. I think my purpose is, aside from my family and kids, like I guess I'm talking work related, is to build a community of women that know they can kick butt, know that they can do these businesses, and know that all the opinions around us don't matter. Like, that is my purpose, is to bring every other woman up around me in these businesses to succeed and to know that we can succeed, and not to put like my husband down, or like, I want my husband to be the man of the house. Like, I'm not saying that. Does that make sense? Like, but I want women to know that, like, we all can succeed together. Like, I feel like that is my purpose, is to grow these businesses and just help other people see, like, oh my gosh, this is possible. Like, we can all do this.
Absolutely. So I obviously know you personally, but I would love for you to reflect a little bit on like your own childhood. And if you can share with me, or if you can think of any moment, any key moment that you really think shaped the person you are today, either as a mother, as a wife, as an entrepreneur.
I would say probably very minimal on that, but I would say my mom and the influence of her, and being a single mom raising two kids, that I had no idea we were poor, or I had no idea that we couldn't afford the things that she worked extra for. And I think I respect that so much, that she worked so hard and she never showed up. I don't know. Like, she worked so hard, and I just admire how hard she worked. And that, like, if she wanted us to have something, or we needed something for school or sports, like, although it wasn't in the budget, but she still made it happen. Like, just going the extra mile, doing that one more thing. I love Ed Milet's book, and I listen to that on repeat, of one more. And it just, like, that speaks so true of like what she did, was just, she always went the extra mile. So I feel like she worked so hard. So I feel like all that entrepreneur spirit comes from her hustle.
I knew that was going to be your answer. And I'm really excited for her to hear that answer. Yes. So when you pursue many things, obviously you're going to have failure along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Can you think of one example that you're comfortable sharing of failure, but more importantly, maybe how you overcame that, or what actually came about it?
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't even call it failure, actually. But I would say something that Rocky and I we like to move around a lot. We like to do different things. We like to just, like, feel free. And I feel like that, in a sense, has taken us, we were 15 steps ahead. And I think in the last couple of years, that took us 5 steps backwards, because we were like, who cares? Let's do it. But really, we didn't think it through as to, like, well, how are we going to do this? We just did it. And I don't regret any of that for 1 second. And I think that it completely reshaped who we were and has just made us stronger. But I wouldn't consider it a failure. I would consider it just like, okay, maybe, we need to, like, think things through a little bit longer before we're like, let's just do it. Although that's what I love about us and our relationship, is that, like, if we want to do something, we're going to do it. Maybe it's pushes us back 10 steps, but that's okay. Like, it was just a new learning experience.
Absolutely. And I know Rocky, obviously. He is just the best. He reminds me so much of my husband. They're more introverted people, where you and I are like, we're here for the party.
Yeah. Yes.
And somehow they deal with us, which is great.
Yes.
Oh, goodness.
They'd be bored without us. Come on.
My husband always tells me that. He's like, what would you do? Like, where would you be if you didn't have me? And I'm like, probably sitting in an office somewhere, very bored.
Yeah, very, very bored.
Oh, my goodness. All right. I know that you have an entrepreneur spirit, and that started very young. I want to talk a little bit about your overall, like, working history. When did you get your first job?
My first job was at Sonic as a car hop. My sister started there and she did really great. And I don't know, I think I started right before I was 16. So my mom had to bring me a couple times. And then I got my license. And then I remember I had my blue Jeep and I could drive myself. This is so funny. And I remember that whole summer of my first year of just like making all these tips, like, this is the craziest thing. And your little like center console, I would just put like all those dollars in there. And it was like at the end of the summer, I was like, this is amazing. Like, I like this work thing. I remember that like so vividly, having all this cash. Like, what do people do with this? I mean, back then it was probably like $1,000, which is completely minute. But for a girl that just got her license and, you're making tips and you're talking to people and it's fun. And it was like, I was like, this is the life. So that was my first job. And then I waitressed probably for a couple more years, didn't know what I wanted to do out of high school. And my mom said, well, you will do something. So here's your options. You go to college. And I was like, college for what? None of that sounds fun to me. Totally honest. She's like, or you will open up a women's boutique. Here's your college money. Go. So that's where it started when I was, I think, 18, right when I graduated. I opened up Posh. It was a women's boutique. I had it for 4 or 5 years. Sold that, got married. We moved. And move number 1 is where it began. We have moved literally 10 times in 10 years. Yep. It's been wild. But sold that, got my real estate license in 2015, have been a realtor since. Added the children's boutique last year. March 20th is our 1 year. And then I just added the Monat market partner. So that is kind of my venture with, I've always been in sales, or always like serving people in sales. Like that has been like a 9-to-5 office job was not for me. Like some people are like, when we were in transition or something and I was trying to figure out, what to do next or where we're going to go while I was taking my real estate license. Someone's like, well, you should go get a job. And I'm like, a job? Like, I'm going to go sit somewhere at 9 o'clock and like check in and then someone's going to tell me what to do and then leave at 5? Like, I'm not getting a job. That sounds horrible. And so I think I love that about like Rocky and I, because like since we've been married and like we are the same person. And like when we moved to Texas, everyone's like, well, you have to get a job. And we're like, we're not getting a job. Like I'm not working for anybody. I will figure out how to create my own business, which is when Annie and Dean was born, and we will work for ourselves and we will make it happen. That might be hard, and it was hard, but it's also worth it.
And I love that. Yeah, so Kimmie is speaking into her boutique called Annie and Dean, and it was born out of your passion, number one, for just, what would you say, the sales industry, clothing, your passion for your children,
my
involving
kids.
them. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so Annie and Dean was kind of born. We lived in Texas, and my husband was doing construction and remodeling, and I was doing all the like design for it and the purchasing for it, and redoing master rooms from like the guts in. So I was helping him do that, but then I was at home with the kids as well, also working on my Texas real estate license that I never got because then we moved. But I love fashion. I love, getting my kids dressed, and every single day, like it's just that's always been in my blood. So of course it was for my kids. But Annie and Dean was born because then I could involve my kids. They're my models. They're like my little dolls that like I love, but then it's like a business that we can do together. I have shows. I take the kids with me. I have photo shoots. The kids are with me. I, go to anything, like they get to be a part of that. And that was my goal, was to kind of like step out of this like business world without my kids. I wanted my kids to be involved more. I didn't want to miss out on them.
Absolutely. Confidence. A lot of people are intimidated by this like direct sales idea, right? It can be very intimidating. Cold calling, asking people to come buy clothing, whatever.
Yes.
Do you think that confidence is a skill or a gift that we are born with, or one that you can improve upon?
I think it's for sure 100% one that we can improve upon. I know for a fact with doing all of my coaching and studying that we are who we were told who we were when we were young. Does that make sense? Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. We are who we grew up around. We are what our parents told us we were. My mom, even though sometimes I didn't know, maybe she was feeling insecure as an 18-year-old mother. Hello. She never showed us that. So, so for me, I'm like, I feel like I just latched onto that. Like, things are hard, but it's okay. Like, so the confidence aspect, I think if you don't have confidence, you have to build yourself up. I have an affirmation book, literally, that I still do to change some of those things, those bad subconscious thoughts that I have that I don't want. And I have one for my children to build them up every day to be the most strongest, confident people. I think that maybe some people are born with it. I think you grow into it, but I absolutely believe in my heart that you can become it. You just have to try. You have to reprogram your mind and those thoughts that you are confident. You can do it. You have the courage to do it. You can do it.
Boom, girlfriend. Now everybody's going to know why, like, you're just the best. And they just have to go follow you, and we'll link all that at the end. But it's so true, and it's so real. Like, our lives, we get the choice every day that we wake up, right?
Yeah.
It is a mindset. I'm big into mindset, and
yes.
I wake up at 5:30 in the morning because
Me too, sister.
I need that 1 hour of like uninterrupted me time. And I do whatever I want, creative things, meditation. I just started doing writing. I listened to a podcast the other day, and it was about this idea called morning pages. Before you look at your phone, before you do anything, before you're able to get distracted by the outside world, the idea is to sit and write one full page or more, whatever you have 10, 15 minutes to do, of your thoughts every single day.
Wow. Tell me about that really quick.
I was like, oh my God, I'm on day 2. Ask me in a week if I've stayed consistent. Ask me in 30 days, and then ask me in a year.
Okay. I love that. I love it.
But anyway, I think the lady, her name was Julia Cameron, who wrote a book about this, and she's been doing this for like 40 years. And I was like, I'm going to try this. Morning pages. There you go.
Okay. I might try it.
So confidence. We talked about this. We've talked about some difficulties, struggles, failures. I know that your family is everything to you, but I would love for you to speak into that. What is family?
Like my 4 tiny family, or like our extended family, or okay. I would say like having my kids. I was one who I am never having kids. You're doing all this wrong. I was such a judgmental non-mother to my sister at that. Like, oh my gosh, you shouldn't let her do that. Oh my gosh, you shouldn't let her. Just blah, blah, Kimmie. You have no idea. Then I became a mom when I didn't want kids. When I was like 15, I didn't want kids. But when Rocky and I got married, it was like, we waited 5 years. And I was like, I think we could do this kid thing. Yeah. So that being said, obviously, any mother knows the second you become a mother, your whole world changes. And suddenly, this little tiny thing is your entire life. And for a long time, I felt like I was like, this scarcity is like, oh my gosh, I don't want to mess them up. Oh my gosh, I want to raise them perfectly, which is non-existent through and through. But those tiny little people I just want to raise, especially in this world, like they mean more to me than anything in this world. And any mom can attest to that. Just, I want them to be strong and confident and kind and, love God and just know who they are. And so like my everyday goal is to build them up. So that is my first aspect of family. And then obviously to build up my husband. He's the most important person to me. Like, if he's not happy, then I'm not happy. If my kids aren't happy, I'm not happy. You know what I mean? So it's this full circle that I just want to always create every day, that like they are my entire world. And I want them to know that, you know. But then aside from that, like when we lived in Texas, I missed my mom and my sister, who are both my dearest best friends that I call all the time. So I missed that connection. And my sister-in-law, who we talk all the time also. So for me, family is everything. Like they mean the world to me. And I want to, if I can help them first and then help everybody else, that is my everyday goal. So my sister and I are doing this Monat together. She had signed up first and I had bought the products from her. And I was like, I ain't doing this shampoo thing, okay? Just give me the products. I'm not slinging shampoo. I have a business. I'm a realtor. No, thank you. Well, then I started for 3.5 months. I was like, wow, I really like this shampoo. So I'm like referring my sister all these people, which I don't care. I'm like, dude, go buy this from my sister. You need this. And then she's like, hello, you can make so much money, because I just decided to keep my kids home about 4 weeks ago, 1 month, and homeschool them. So now I really didn't have a lot of time to hustle in the other aspects, but I did from my phone. Like I have a good couple hours where they're napping, where they're eating, you know, I can bust out stuff. Anyways, joined my sister, and now it's like we're this team together, and it's like we've always wanted to do something together, but could never figure out what that was. So to like be with my sister on this team and to like collaborate and like see her succeed and I succeed and I help her, it's amazing. And I am so grateful for the opportunity. And it's not just shampoo. I'll leave that at that.
I love that. I have a lot of friends that are in the MLL, or the multi-level marketing industry, you know, and the potential right now is huge. It is just skyrocketing.
It's going to be the biggest thing in 2023.
Exactly. And I really hope if there's a mom, a stay-at-home mom, a single mom, somebody looking for that side hustle, to be honest, man or woman, there's a lot
100%.
of men.
I'm working on a man right now.
Yes. And like, I just am really hopeful and speaking into those people that it is possible. Does everybody have a success story? No. Does it take a lot of work?
Yes.
Absolutely. It is a business model, and you actually, there's the compensation plans can be very generous.
Yes. Yes.
And tell me, okay, so let's chat about the product. So it's with Monat. Now it's hair. Do they also have a skincare line?
Yes.
So talk to me. Talk to me.
So there's, you know, energy packets, there's skincare, there's hair care, but it's, you know, a lot of people focus on the skincare, and that's fine. But mine was for the hair. I had bleach blonde hair my whole life. It's always been short. Then I had extensions. Then I had this. My hair was fried. My hair was dry. You know, all these things. And I started using the shampoo, and I'm like, my hair's healthy. It's fluffy. I have a scalp scrub and an oil that now I literally don't have to use dry shampoo. I use dry shampoo on day 4 of washing, when I would use dry shampoo on literally day 2, because my scalp would get oily and it was gross. But little did I know, dry shampoo dries your hair out. Crystal's like, obviously, Kimmie. I'm like, I had no idea. And clogs your pores. So really, it's not good for you to dry shampoo extra instead of washing. Long story short, amazing shampoo products that are healing your hair from the inside out. They're rebuilding your pH. They are, you know, we have Rejuva beads that are healing your split ends, not healing on day 1, but if you get haircuts, you know, twice a month, you only have to get one once a month, because it's just all healing products. Vegan-free, gluten-free, no parabens, no sulfates, all the goods.
I love that. Well, I'm so excited to continue watching your journey with it.
Thank you.
Let's see. We've got like 5 more minutes here. I would love to ask you, well, you know what? I want to say one thing. Okay. What you just mentioned about Rocky a minute ago, I think is instrumental in a good marriage. And you and I shared this concept of building up our husbands.
Yeah.
And I try to do that. And it goes both ways. And I love when I'm in like a dark place, which I have shared about on episode 1 of just like my bio and the last few years of like some pretty deep struggle, which you know my story.
Yep.
there was countless days, weeks, months where my husband was like, The Rock, like, we got this, we did it. And then there are times, seasons, days, months, the same, where like our roles totally change and where he's like, we got to give up. I think, like, what else do we do? What do you think? You know? And I'm like, no,
we're not doing it. Yes.
And I just appreciate that. And I just pray. I pray for the wives who pray for their husbands, but maybe don't feel that reciprocated.
Yeah.
And I would love to just, speak into them of just keep doing it. Even if you don't feel the fruits of what your work is building up your husbands.
Yep.
You will. There will be a day. There will be a time. So I loved that. I loved that you included that. Okay. Biggest accomplishment. What would you say to date has been one of your biggest accomplishments?
Oh. I would say like business side work.
You know what? You can give me two if you want. A business and more of a family or personal or whatever comes to mind.
Yeah. I would say my biggest accomplishment I feel like starts with my marriage with Rocky and just like having a solid, loving, honest relationship with my husband. I would say that's my biggest win of all. Because then having that is like at the top, and then I feel like that trickles down. We're solid. We respect each other. I love him. It's just like that is where our foundation starts. That is my biggest success. Then I would say that goes to our kids who are happy, healthy, free. They're not, I feel like we pour so much love into them, and you can tell when they're with somebody else. Not when they're with me. Better without me. We all know that. And then I would say then that trickles down to our business where we love to do business together. We love to build. We love to flip. So I would say as a couple, like success-wise that way, it would be our flips and our builds. Like our Maroon Drive house was amazing, and we sold it for almost $1 million, and that was in 2018. Like I was Maverick's 5, so I'm 32 now. I don't know, 5 years ago, like 28, 27. Like that's amazing. And we've just continued that process. Like I said before, I feel like we were 10 steps ahead, and like moving took us 5 steps back. Not in a negative way, just a growth way, and that's okay. But now, like as a couple of coming back, here our success starts again, and here we've learned, and now we're, moving forward to more of our dreams. So that was a very loaded success answer.
Yes.
But that's kind of, yeah.
And I hope somebody is hearing that saying she was 27 and sold $1 million+ home.
Yeah.
Yes, it's possible, my friends.
Yes. Yeah. My husband worked a lot on that, and he slaved on that. And I give him all the credit, but I sold it as a realtor.
His work is so amazing. Goodness, he's so talented.
Yes.
If you could speak into a young girl listening to this today who has a dream on her heart, but nobody believes in it, what would you tell that teenage girl, that 18-year-old, that young 20-something-year-old? What would you say to her?
Well, I have a 18-year-old who just joined my Monat team. She turned 18 on what's today's Thursday, like last Friday. She signed up for Monat 2 days ago, and it made me cry. This is so funny because I just was like, gosh, if anybody would have given me this opportunity. I mean, there was not social selling, I guess, back then, but like believed in you enough. And my mom did for my store. So I guess I can't say that. But for this little girl, I am just like, I could cry because I'm like, I will do everything. I will pour into her and let her know like she can do it. She has the courage. And if she sticks to it and believes in herself in 2 years, she could make $1 million. She could be a millionaire by the time she's 21. Like, do not let the naysayers, let your friends, let your parents, they're going to disagree with you. If you have it on your heart and you believe you can do it, link up with somebody who will help you and just just do it. Just take, because guess what? Failing is also not trying. So for me, and not doing the Monat business, I was like, well, then I'm failing. If I'm not trying, I'm failing. So I'm going to try. And if I try failing, then I've learned so much. So just keep going and just do it. Believe in yourself.
Beautiful. And I'm sure you saw yourself. It was like looking in the mirror,
Yes.
this 18-year-old girl
Yes.
who had, you yourself had big hopes and dreams. I'm excited to continue hearing about her and her journey and your guys' bond. If she sticks with it, there's going to be something special between you as her mentor and her hopeful success and journey.
Yes.
One more question. Well, two, but one, and then a final thought here. If you could do anything in the world that you are not currently doing right now in this moment, what would you want to do?
You know, this is funny. I would say, I literally just told Rocky this 2 nights ago. I feel like Monat was what I was missing. So I have the children's clothing boutique that, serves in a different way, serves mothers in our community in a different way, right? Being a realtor, same thing, serves people in a different way. But the Monat was what I have been looking for. It was that deep sense of connection with other women. It was the community of like having this collaboration with a team, local and way bigger than me. And it was the connection of like being able to hustle and being with my kids. I have been searching and I've had a lot of opportunities. Everyone asks and tries to sell their thing, but that doesn't bother me because I am that person. So, I've had a lot of things come my way, a lot of different MLMs or whatever social selling you want to call it. And I never have taken to one because it didn't speak to me. But I'm like also not like the beauty queen of like, here's my beautiful makeup and hair. Like that's just not, that is my sister. So that's why I was like, I can't do this. This is not for me. But it's like everyone washes their shampoo and everyone wants clean, glorious hair, right? And then I got that. But then when I started realizing the community and like how many people I could reach, with their crusty hair, because if you have bad crusty hair, you feel like crap. I know that. I have been there. So serving women that way, it just makes you feel better. And then being able to be on a team with my sister to build up other women, like that is what I was missing. This, I wholeheartedly believe this was a God divine connection. And like, if I wasn't doing that, that's what I would explain that I was missing. But I truly feel like I have stepped into what I had felt like I was missing.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for that answer. That's so sweet. And I'm so excited for your journey and just to see God's mercy, his grace, his guidance in your life. And as it's always been there, I know you are a huge woman, mother, and daughter of faith. And I appreciate that. And I know it's much like myself, it's very apparent in your marriage, with the kids, in your household. And like, sky is the limit for you, girlfriend. Last question. What is your favorite quote?
Oh crap, I forgot you asked me that. Oh, I don't know that I have a favorite quote right now. Is that funny? I have to be honest, my Bob Proctor affirmations and the one I would say, not my favorite, not anything, but like what I've been focusing on, in the past few months that speaks to me. And I love this. And I would say like, for now, this would be my favorite quote. And I'm so happy and grateful now that I give and receive freely, generously, and with an open heart and mind.
Yes.
So good.
And we can say amen.
Amen.
Kimmie, this was great. I am so appreciative to you, to your time, to your heart, to your spirit, to just your big dreams. And where can people find you? Where can people buy clothes? Where can people buy shampoo? Where can people join your Monat team with you and your sister? Tell me all the things.
Yes. Okay. I would say, first of all, you can just hook up with me on Instagram. My profile is public. That is where I share most of my Monats and, our team. So that is just Kimmie Rauman, Kimmie IEANNRAUMAN. So that's my Instagram. You hook up with that, you hook up with everything. My Annie and Dean Children's Boutique is literally annieanddean.com. We have an Instagram also. So really, you just hook up with me on Instagram, and we can do all the things, girl.
Woo! All right. Well, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I can't wait to see you soon. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to come see you in a few weeks.
Oh, I would love that. I would love that.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Kimmie.